Hello and welcome to the latest edition of Fuse News, coming to you live on Facebook and YouTube. The university has revealed its plan to get students tested for COVID before returning home for the Christmas holidays. The mass testing programme begins on November 28th and will take place at Sackville Street Building, University Place and Owens Park. The university has sorted testing dates by school or faculty and has sent information to all students regarding when they should be tested and subsequently travel home. Students can book their testing slots online. The government has announced its new and revised tier system in England, known as the COVID-19 Winter Plan. Greater Manchester has been placed in Tier 3, the highest tier. This means that dining in is not allowed and most entertainment centres and hotels will be closed. However, gyms and retail shops will remain open, and the rule of 6 now applies to outdoor and indoor public spaces.
And now, Tom has the latest on news in Fallowfield.
Yes, Anya, after 13 days, the UOM rent strike occupation of Owens Park Tower ended on Wednesday evening as the occupiers left the building. They had entered the building on Thursday, the 12th of November, demanding a 40% reduction in rent for students living in halls over the next academic year. The university initially gave them an offer of 5% rent reduction, which would only cover the 2 weeks before the Christmas break. When interviewed on BBC's North West Tonight, Dame Nancy Rothwell refused to admit that this was the case whilst being interviewed by Roger Johnson, who asked her whether she was simply refunding students for a service that they weren't receiving. Continued pressure from the occupiers has now led to the university giving students a 30% rent reduction for semester 1. Although the occupiers have welcomed this as a win, they have confirmed that they will carry through with the January rent strike in order to receive a bigger rent reduction. Another interview with the BBC on the Newsnight programme, University of Manchester Vice-Chancellor Nancy Rothwell has released a video apologising for saying that she'd written to Zach Adan, the alleged victim of a racial profiling incident on campus, when in fact she had not contacted him. Adan, a first-year French and linguistics student, was pinned to a wall by security guards who demanded to see his student ID in video footage that emerged last week. Hundreds of Manchester students turned out for a spontaneous, peaceful protest in response. In an interview with BBC Newsnight last Thursday, Rothwell said she'd written to Adan to apologise for the incident and suspended the security guards involved, pending an investigation. Now, she's been forced to reveal Adan did not receive this communication.
The last few weeks have been extremely difficult for everybody, but particularly for this university. Last night I appeared on BBC Newsnight. It was a difficult interview. This morning I realised that one of the things that I said in that interview with good intent was in fact incorrect. I said that I had written to the student that was involved in a serious incident on the 13th of November. I found out today that in fact that was not included in correspondence to him. I am devastated that I made the wrong remark on national television. I've written to sincerely apologise to the student. We've also contacted Newsnight, and I'm now telling you about this mistake. I can't tell you how sorry I am about it. I can only commit to the fact that I am passionate about this university, about our staff, our students, and our values, which of course include zero tolerance of any discrimination and support for everybody within it. And I will do the very best I can to uphold those values and to support our university. Thank you.
Nancy Rothwell there in a video that was released last Friday, shortly after our broadcast. In other news, reports of violence in Fallowfield have surfaced following several crimes in the area. George has more on this story.
A crazy atmosphere pervades the Fallowfield accommodation, in particular Oak House, following reports of crime in the area. First of all, there have been multiple reports of 3 men in a white van driving around mugging students and threatening to stab them. It's unclear whether each of these cases was perpetrated by different people. One Facebook status reads, "Had 2 blokes knocking on my door at midnight for their lives as they had been chased down Grenville Road. Apparently they were being chased by 3 men in a white van demanding their money." Another student said that they tried to ram into him with the vehicle as he walked away. Students reported to have heard what they described as a harrowing scream on Furnace Road after a man tried to break into a girl's home. Luckily, this person's fine and the man was reportedly scared off by the screaming. Manchester City Council predicts that 1 in 10 students of the 70,000 in Manchester will be the victim of at least one crime. Stay safe, people.
So that was all about the Fellowfield thing. Thanks, George. Good afternoon. I'm Anurag Sharma, and you're watching Fuse News. Here are the international headlines for the week. Tension between India and China is on its peak. In a latest move on Tuesday, Indian government announced that they are going to ban 43 more Chinese apps, including apps of e-commerce giant Alibaba. Indian IT Ministry said that the action was taken based on inputs regarding these apps for engaging in activities which are prejudicial to sovereignty and integrity of India, defense of India, security of state and public order. Whereas China have opposed the decision of India and said that they firmly oppose the Indian side's repeated use of national security as an excuse to prohibit some mobile apps with Chinese background. In the last 5 months, Indian officials have banned more than 200 Chinese apps in total, including the widely popular video platform TikTok. American President Donald Trump on Wednesday pardoned his former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who had twice pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI during the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. Trump's pardon, which could be the first of several after he lost the 2020 presidential election to Democrat Joe Biden, drew condemnation from Democrats and other critics. Trump's move was the highest profile pardon he has granted since he took office. Flynn's attorney, Sidney Powell, who told a court in September that she personally asked Trump not to pardon her client, said the pardon was bittersweet because Flynn was innocent. On the remotest island of New Zealand, about 100 pilot whales and bottlenose dolphins have died in a mass stranding. Most of them were stranded during the weekend, but rescue efforts have been hampered by the island's remote location. This island is situated about 800 kilometers off New Zealand's east coast. In late September, several hundred whales died in shallow waters of the Australian coast in one of the world's biggest mass whale strandings. The global tally of COVID positive cases has crossed the 61 million mark, out of which 1.43 million people have lost their lives due to this virus. Globally, the US, India, Brazil, UK, Italy, France and Russia are the most affected countries. In the last few days, the United States is observing more than 150,000 new cases every day and has recorded around 270,000 coronavirus fatalities. On the other hand, France is set to relax its lockdown rules from Saturday, but ski stations and restaurants will remain closed for Christmas. The European Space Agency says it is signing a €86 million contract with a Swiss startup company to bring a large piece of orbital rest back to Earth. The agency said Thursday that the deal with ClearSpace will lead to the first active debris removal mission in 2025, in which a custom-made spacecraft will capture and bring down part of rocket once used to deliver satellite into orbit. Experts have long warned that hundreds of thousands of pieces of space debris circling the planet pose a threat to functioning satellites and even the International Space Station.
Catherine McDonald, a third-year UM student, has spoken out about her difficulty transitioning to online learning. Due to her dyslexia, she continues to require specialist computer software to aid her studying. After a fault in her laptop occurred over summer, Catherine was left unable to access her required software or a laptop until week 4 of her third year. DAS, which stands for Disability Advisory and Support Service, is a university-funded resource which is in place to support students who need it. Despite multiple attempts to borrow a laptop from the university and the university saying they would provide Catherine with a computer, this has not happened and was something which she had to sort out herself. She posted on Manchester Students Group about her experience with DAS and received hundreds of likes and comments which expressed similar concerns. Catherine spoke to Fuse News about her experience and what happened when she got in contact with DAS.
I got in contact with them, must have been end of August, maybe mid-August time, letting them know my situation, letting them know that my laptop's playing up and all of that. Just trying to get some help, technicality wise. not really hearing much from them. I was sent pillar to post, is how I've put it. Try this library support function. So it's the get online with the library. I contacted them. I was hearing 1 week something from them. Can you sign this form, do this, do that? I got an email from them saying that I was going to receive a laptop on the day that they sent that laptop. Nothing. I've just I've tried everything. I've contacted everyone, and I'm finally getting my software hopefully fixed next week. So that's since August that I've been trying.
Just to clarify, you still haven't received the support?
No, they've made efforts to, but that's only because of the Mancunian paper and my very verbal like descriptions of what's happening. Otherwise, I would still be without it. I mean, I am, and that's after letting 48,000 people know. So I asked my DAS advisor, please can you let my lecturers know that I've got dyslexia, my software's not working, I'm struggling. They had no communication from DAS, so I had to let them know myself. I was just lucky that I'm in the position that I'm happy to let them know that information. I've just been having to be so open with so many people about my struggles. Otherwise, I might have had to drop out if I didn't make the efforts to contact everyone.
A University of Manchester spokesperson said, "We're sorry to hear of this student's experience with our Disability Advisory and Support Service, and will work with them to resolve this issue as soon as possible. As a university, we are fully committed to providing support for all our disabled students, and DAS ensures they receive tailored assistance for their individual requirements. For example, we have purchased assistive software for use by our dyslexic students, and this is installed on all computers in university clusters and is also accessible remotely. Throughout the pandemic, DAS and our university support services have continued to provide appointments and services by video, phone, and email. The feedback we received shows a positive experience for many of our disabled students. However, we do recognise that different students have different needs, and we know there are areas which we can improve upon. That is something the university is consistently working towards." That's all from us today at Fuse News at the University of Manchester. Tune in again next Friday for our weekly update.